Tony Laramie joins me here on the program for the very first time. Tony, what's going on? How are you?
Nothing much. Just got back from school. First period physics. Had to write a test this morning. Just high school life every day.
Yeah, I was going to say, for those who didn't catch that, yeah, you are in high school. You're only 17 years old, and here you are going to be making your debut for TKO coming up here. How excited were you when this came together? And you know, you're still in high school. I mean, that's a pretty big deal getting signed to a big promotion like that.
Well, I've been training like MMA for about 7 years since I was like 11. So like I've been waiting to be old enough to actually compete in MMA and be pro and whatnot. So like when I actually had the opportunity to like turn pro and for like be a part of a good organization too, I like jumped on it right away. And I'm actually really excited to be part of TKO because I know like a lot of their fighters and whatnot led to the UFC, like GSP, like he had his pro debut and whatnot on TKO.
That he did. How many fights is on your contract? Like how long are you signed to the promotion?
It's either 2 years or 5 fights, but I'm planning on having 5 fights like a lot like sooner than 2 years.
How'd you end up getting involved in combat sports?
I got involved by like my brother. He like I don't know, when he was a kid, he was just like I don't know, he was interested in it, and then he went to the gym, and like I just had to tag along. So, and then I just ended up liking it too, and then I just started training every day, and then I ended up being good at it. And also like my dad was a big part of it too, with it when he's the one that always drove us to the gym and whatnot, and like he was always into like watching UFC and like reading the magazines and like the fight magazines and whatnot. So he got me interested in it too.
And do you like having that? I mean, you mentioned your brother there. Your brother is TJ Laramie, who's obviously been very hyped for a couple of years now. Does that bother you having him sort of in your shadow, or you being in his shadow, so to speak? Or do you like the fact that you have a brother that's also in the sport and can kind of support you?
At the end of the day, it's like sure it's like a sport and everything, but like MMA is like one of my top priorities. But I'm just here like to have a good time. You know what I mean? Have like all these experiences, whatnot. If like this isn't a job to me. This is my lifestyle. This is what I love to do. And it's like if I didn't love to do, I wouldn't do it. I'm that's just how I look at it. Like whether TJ's good or not, whether I'm good or not, at the end of the day, I'm just here to train, get better, and just yeah.
Good stuff. Now, being in high school, do your friends did they realize kind of the magnitude of you being a part of TKO? I mean, this is going to be on UFC Fight Pass. Your fight's going to be seen worldwide.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Like some of my friends do, like my closer ones do, because I get to like explain it to them. But like a lot of like my classmates and whatnot, they're like, "Oh, TKO." They're like what's that? But like a lot of people do know about it, like especially like adults and whatnot. Like I go to Good Life and they're like, "Are you Tony Laramie?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And they're like, "You fight like you sign with TKO?" And I'm like, "Yeah." It's more like popular with like the adults, but kids my age also know about it as well.
Gotcha. Now you're taking on Keith Lee, who's Kevin Lee's brother, the UFC fighter, correct?
Yeah.
Nice. How do you see yourself matching up against him? He's obviously from the States.
To be honest, I haven't I only watched one fight on him. He didn't look too bad. And then I don't know, he's really tall and lanky, and like I'm used to that. I fought like Ryan Donnelly before, and he's like I don't even know, he's like 6'3" or something like that, and I'm only 5'2". So I'm used to handling with reach too, because I train a lot bigger people like Kyle Preplick and my brother, and they both have pretty long reaches for like their size and whatnot. And Kyle's a pretty big person, so.
Yeah, and you brought up your training camp there, training at MTC Windsor, just a fantastic camp. Kyle Preplick, like you said there. Who are some of the other people helping you get ready for this matchup?
Well, Shane Monahan.
Oh,
he's
awesome. Yeah.
amateur fighters at the gym. He's helping me a lot just because like he's around the same height and probably the same reach as like Keith Lee, and also he's like around the same weight. Well, not the same weight. He's a little heavier. He walks around probably at 150, and I walk around like at 140. So he's helping me a lot just for my distancing and like my timing and whatnot against a taller opponent.
And how's the cut going to 125? Do you have to cut a lot of weight? Because you mentioned you're a pretty short guy. I imagine you're not having to cut too much weight.
Well, I don't know. I'm pretty like stocky too. Like I usually when I'm like just like chilling, walking around, I'm usually like 150, like 155. So like that's like at the end of the day, I'm cutting like 25 pounds. But like I usually diet down to like 135, and then like I get like pretty skinny then, and then I cut the last 10 water.
Excellent. Is it tough at all with this fight being right around the corner from Christmas? Because there's going to be all that holiday food.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty tough. I don't know. Like I have like a lot of like family dinners and whatnot, and it's just it's going to be hard to like not eat a lot because it's like the food's so good and everything like that, like all the desserts and everything. But at the end of the day, it's just like I don't really like eating unhealthy, and like because you just feel like trash if you eat unhealthy. I just like eating clean all the time. Like I started eating clean about like 12, 14 weeks out from this camp. And that's when I was like 155 because like I cut down to 125 for the first time in the summer, and then I blew up like to like 165. And, and I was a big guy, so I started like eating clean, and like now that I've been eating clean for like 8 weeks, like quite some time, like actually like having everyday life about eating clean. Yeah, like eating clean, it just makes me feel better, train better, and like yeah.
And stuff. And you feel like the timing of you sort of embarking on your career is pretty good, because if you look at the UFC right now, they're starving for contenders at flyweight. I mean, you're in a division that there aren't a ton of prospects out there outside the UFC.
Yeah, I know. I'm looking for like hopefully at the end of this contract, by the end of my 5 fights, maybe like a UFC, like when I have an offer by then, because like I know the division isn't that big, and I know like there's like only like so many like top prospects, and if I'm winning all my fights like how I did with my amateur fights, then I should be getting there pretty fast, hopefully.
January 13th, what can people expect? How do you see this fight ending?
I don't know. It's a fight. Anything can happen, right? But I'm looking for like a first round TKO or something. Drop him to the body. He's a tall guy. He probably leans back a little bit when he throws it like in the exchanges. So I'm just looking to like just pick my shots, take my time, and it's a fight. Anything can happen. If it goes to the ground, I'll submit him. If it's standing, TKO, KO, doesn't matter. It's just I'm there to fight.
Excellent. So are you graduating at the end of this year as far as high school goes?
Yeah, and then I might stay for a 5th year just to like stay in school, because like I don't know, I just like school, because like just have like a productive day. You know what I mean? I like learning stuff. I like learning about that. Or I might go to university or college right after. I don't know for sure. It's just yeah.
Yeah, you got lots of time. You still got to figure all that stuff out. I mean, it's coming up soon, but I'm sure you got to take some time. It's like a life decision there, right?
It is a life decision, because I don't even know. It's confusing. A lot of confusing stuff.
Yeah, a lot of decisions to make. But I mean, man, you've got this huge opportunity here. Fighting for TKO. Not a lot of people get that. As far as your downtime and everything, like you must train all the time. Do you get any downtime at all to like hang out with your friends and stuff?
Yeah. I get some time. Like I usually train like twice a day, and like since I never like failed a class or anything, I have double spare. So I have second and third spare, and like I did it on purpose just so that I can train during the day and at night, so I could train twice a day for this fight. And and then like school's like after school I hang out with my friends sometimes for a little bit, and then I go to the gym, or like sometimes just like on like a Friday night or something we'll go out and go bowling or something like that, just so I have time. I just don't have like as much time as I would if I wasn't in like fight camp or whatnot. I couldn't like have leisure time to go out and go like do random things with my friends, like.
How do you find your teachers are? Like, did they support you in what you're doing, or do they like not understand it? What's sort of been the reception?
Well, like a lot of my teachers, like some of them like understand, some of them are like really interested in like how I'm doing and whatnot. But then like some teachers like they like don't even know, and then they hear about it, and they're just like, what? I didn't even know that. You don't look like, they say I don't even look like a fighter. I'm just a small person, right? And it's just like, yeah, I don't know, a lot like. Most of my teachers support it. Most of them do, but they always say like the same thing about how going to like university after high school and college is still like very important, and not to focus all on fighting.
Excellent. Yeah, that's some good advice right there. But we're really looking forward to this matchup, January 13th, TKO 37, live on UFC Fight Pass. Tony, appreciate you taking some time, especially on your spare in high school, man. That's valuable time you're giving up for me. I appreciate it. Where can people get a hold of you on social media? And if you got any thank yous or shout outs, the floor is yours, man.
I'd like to thank you for having me, first of all, and I'd like to just thank all my coaches and everything that are gonna help me for this fight, and all my training partners. I'd like to thank my dad because he helps me out a lot. And then you can follow me on Twitter at Tony Laramie, and then there's like my Instagram, same thing, Tony Laramie. And yeah, I don't know. Thank you for having me.